Good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 44 of Joe and Matty Talking New York Sports. A late night episode today. Got Hank Aaron episode.
Oh, yes.
44. Neil Pionk for the Rangers was
That's
44.
where you go. Famous 44s. Neil
Mm,
Peon.
well, he's
You think we
definitely not famous. Hank Aaron is definitely. I don't know. I don't. I've been bad. I'm bad with Knicks. I don't know any of the Knicks numbers. Every time we do this, I'm never good with
well,
Knicks.
your whole life they stunk.
Uh,
You'd think we'd research this beforehand.
Giants, I'm blanking. The Rangers, I only remember Neil Pionk. I don't think they have a 44 right now. Um,
Best players to ever wear for him. So, I mean, Hank Aaron's one. Robert. Oh, I hate this Bleacher Report site. It's like such a pain. Anyway, who cares about that? We all know it's number 44. It's a little late tonight, so
big one
we'll get
today.
into it. Let's start with we haven't touched on since we left the Knicks. Donovan Mitchell. What a surprise! The Knicks tell us
I
all
say
something. I mean,
it's really
this
not.
is LeBron. This is every other player. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Only can happen to the Knicks. Only can happen. You know what only happens to the Knicks? They never get the player. So, I thought the trade price was crazy. What they
Yeah,
gave up to get him: 3 unprotected picks, 2 swaps, and players. I don't think the Knicks should have given up that much to play it, but the trade market is just insane in the NBA right now.
I mean, it's just frustrating because you have a guy who vocally wants to come to New York. He's from New York, and it's just like these
Yeah,
situations keep happening with the Knicks. And I felt after a while when there was a lot of talks and nothing was happening, that's when I thought they're probably not going to get him because they keep kicking the can down the road. You're not giving them exactly what they want, and then the Knicks are just the Knicks, so they're gonna have some of those factors come into it. Not surprised. I still expect them to be a playoff team this year with adding a caliber player like Brunson and with hoping that RJ Barrett takes a stride
I,
and
I,
quickly in
I think
Toppin.
he'll
But
take a big stride, and I think Toppin's problem is playing time. But once again, it's like laughable that the Knicks are involved in these big rumors and it never happens. So we'll move on because the next season's a little farther away. Rangers, a little bit of rumors on the trade front, nothing too substantial. I haven't seen people like Larry Brooks report it, but if you want to comment quickly on the rumor out there,
yeah, Nils Lundqvist and Vitaly Kravtsov seems like Jeff Gorton in Montreal is very interested in
makes sense.
taking the players that he drafted, which I would like to see Kravtsov this year. I think Kravtsov's a good player. It's maybe it was a lot of complications last couple of years, but it would be I don't care as much for Nils Lundqvist. They have a lot of
They don't have a lot of
good
spot for
defensive
him,
guys. Yeah, and it's either him,
which is
Zach
why he wants to
Jones,
trade.
and I understand he'll get top four D time in most other play, like especially with a team like Montreal. So
Yeah, I think
I
it's a
don't,
perfect time to trade him, and I think
and
if
you make some grub off of it. I mean, you could get some.
the
I don't even
problem
know.
is the Rangers, if they trade Lundqvist and Krastoff together, neither of them have very high salaries at all. So what you can back, what the Rangers want is a
Yeah,
more veteran players, but you can't get a veteran player because their salaries are too low. So I don't know. I think that would be a big dilemma in a trade like that. Is the Rangers would want like a star player, but they can't afford him
yeah,
salary cap wise. So what do? They don't want more draft picks.
yeah. And I'm really excited for this season. I think it mainly just banks on Shesterkin being himself, and then the
Hundred
whole
percent.
team kind of if they could have that power. Because really, we look at last
We'll
year
get
like
to the Rangers preview before the season. I'll let you wax poetically for an hour all about
we
the
got
Rangers, and I'm sure
33 days till
you'll
puck
tell me
drop at the
how
Garden
many
against the
goals
Lightning.
for Kreider's going to store. But today's big two topics are NFL, which we'll get to after Matty gives us a little break on the Yankees here. The free fall that is just brutally watching the Yankees fall to earth with the Judge just trying to hang on with his nails, keeping from the team from falling into an abyss here. It's amazing how high up they were that despite this
Yeah.
fall, they're still in first place. The hitters just look flat. I know there's a million injuries, but it just feels like the
They've
same
had a lot of problems,
to the
especially with
playoffs
those
included.
Yeah, well, when they've had these injuries where the guys come back and the guys are still injured. Like they haven't taken the right time. Saw that with Rizzo, saw that with Stanton, seen that with LeMahieu. But I mean, what
But then, Stan came back and he got a foot injury, so I don't think that's what it is.
LeMahieu has an injury that will
Yeah,
not be fixed till the offseason, which
LeMay
is
probably
terrible.
came back too soon. Rizzo probably came back too soon. But
Yeah.
that's guys like Severino. Did they send him off to, were they too cautious, saying, "Oh, we're going to cruise into the playoffs. Let's get him healthy for that." And
And
then,
things like that, I've forgotten. Like I forget that Nestor Cortez and Severino are on the IL right now. That's huge. I mean, you're starting right now. You're throwing out
yeah, Jordan
these
Montgomery.
randos. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
Tyone,
and
you've lost faith in completely. Or
well,
I don't
actually,
think you have.
I saw a stat that yes, his numbers aren't great, but there's actually in more than like 70% of the games he's pitched in this year, they've won, which is very weird because you feel like he doesn't
No,
pitch
but
well.
yeah, you don't have any confidence with him going against a really good team.
And the Yankees are like, it's a lot of questionable decisions. I want Cashman out. I mean, what he's doing, he's not setting up Aaron Boone well. You call up Oswald Peraza, a shortstop, to play him at second base. You buy into Isaiah Kiner Falefa, who's supposed to be, what do they call it, like a bump, whatever, a shortstop
Bridge,
that's gonna segue you to
a
Volpe,
bridge player.
basically. Yeah. So you say, well, he's our guy, he's our guy. But then you call up the shortstop in Peraza, and you're not going to play him at shortstop. Like he's supposed to be a future guy too. Kind of Falefa's making errors. Look, I think he's a good player, but he played a game at third base
No,
today
I
where he
agree
won a
with you.
Gold Glove 2 years ago, and he looked great. I think your problems is you have too many. Like Josh Donaldson is had an atrocious year at the plate. Aaron Hicks is one of the worst baseball players I've ever seen. And yet they still get time. Aaron Hicks is leading off today. Why?
Aaron Hicks
He
should not be in the
sucks. I mean,
lineup. He should not be in the lineup at all. The one thing with this Yankees organization, often teams are criticized for not giving people chances. This team sticks to their guns and gives guys
oh
too long
God.
of chances. Like you're right, Donaldson
I'm
should be on
sorry.
the bench.
Donaldson's had a great
LeMahieu should
defensive
be
year.
playing third. Glaber should be playing second. At shortstop, I 100% agree with you. If you're bringing up a shortstop prospect to give you like energy, Isaiah Kiner Falefa is a defensive player who's not
Why stunt
lighting.
his growth? Why bring him
Well,
up and
it's
stunt his development?
not even about stunting his development, but like it's not like you're holding Jeter's spot there. Kiner Falefa you're going to eventually replace anyway. So who the hell cares if he sits him? It's not like he's hitting 500 that you got is taking his bat out of the lineup. I would rather have Torres hitting than I would Kiner Falefa.
But
So
I mean, here's my thing. You got to look at the facts that Donaldson and Hicks aren't going to be in the postseason lineup with a healthy team. That's just a fact. I hope, as of right now, Peraza had a 3-hit day today. These are the first 3 hits of his career. He looked really good.
you going back to back in the second half of the doubleheader?
Uh, yep, he's batting ninth today. Oswaldo Cabrera, man, what? Like he gunned down someone today at the plate from right field. He played right field 3 times when he was in the minor leagues. He came up to the majors. He's now thrown people out like 3 times, robbed a homer on the first pitch of a game. He's making Jeter plays at shortstop where he's running into the fence making
Well, what's
plays.
his name should be back. Well, I don't know if back's the right word. The guy that they traded, Haber, is it from St. Louis? He should be available soon.
Oh, but Harrison Bader,
Bader,
that's
not
what you're hoping for, but I think I'm not. I don't think that this team's going to win the World Series, but
If you were,
they
what's
need.
your starting lineup if they played the playoff game? All right, assuming Stanton's back, Hader's around, assuming that the health is back to a little bit normal. All the guys that were supposed to come back in 2 weeks are back. Who's your starting lineup for the playoffs?
If all healthy, I would go. Ooh, I would run up. I would do LeMahieu, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton because Judge needs that buffer because they're gonna like for
Well, they're
him.
just gonna. He's never gonna see a pitch the way he's hitting. Like he
And
needs.
it's I don't know how to explain Aaron Judge season, and frankly, a lot of people are forgetting. I have to pull up his stats because I didn't even realize this. Obviously, a great year. He's in the running for the Triple Crown. He is. He's batting 302, which is
Who's leading the league?
fourth in the AL.
Who's leading though with what?
I think it's Bogarts in the teens in the AL.
Oh, teens. So
Judge has got some. He's got some ground, but I'm not gonna. I don't want to start this argument again, but I want to be quick when I talk about the MVP thing versus Otani. Otani's a good player. He is. He is a good pitcher and he's a good hitter. But the fact that it's like you're comparing him and he plays on a team where their games don't matter, and he's not being like it. That's just the truth. And the stat that everyone lives and dies by, all these analytics, is WAR. Aaron Judge is a better WAR than Otani, and he pitches as well. So that means he has a better
yeah,
advantage in that stat.
I don't
So,
know how that stat's done correctly for him.
well, it's put together. Hitting and
I
pitching
can't
would be put
imagine
together.
it's fair to put it together because it's a benefit. Regardless, Judge is doing it in clutch moments. I agree with you. I could care less about the MVP argument.
I
Well,
mean, he hit his 55th homer today, which
what do you got? About 31 left.
he's got. We've got about 26 games, I want to say, left,
26. I'm way off.
and he needs 7 homers.
I'd like to see him get to 63. I don't think it's
Yeah.
going to happen, but that's the number.
Well,
where
I
I
don't.
get,
That's I don't count Bonds, Sosa, McGuire. Look, great careers, but it's just a fact you wouldn't have hit that many homers if you weren't on steroids because you didn't do it when you weren't taking steroids.
I
So
don't disagree with you there.
But I keep getting increasingly worried that they're gonna lose. That they're gonna lose
You can't
Judge
worry about
because.
it. You can't think. Don't worry about that. Just worry about this week.
But you lose, like we've been talking about
Yeah,
now,
you're
that
not the GM.
he's carrying them. If
Yeah.
you lose him,
Yeah.
where do you start?
Oh, I think you would have to tear the whole thing down.
You're gonna lose me if you tear the whole thing down.
Yankees have never torn it down. In your
They'll
lifetime,
just keep spending money, and people think.
Well, that's
I
the
heard.
old Yankees, but we've never seen the Yankees tear it down. But it's just would destroy the franchise if all of a sudden the Yankees became. The Yankees are, I think, the best thing for Yankees fans is the fact that Steve Cohen became owner of the Mets because the Yankees were trending in a spot where they were going to spend less. And I don't disagree with the ownership. If the Tampa Bay Rays could win all these games with a quarter of the payroll, I expect the people that I'm paying, who I'm probably paying way more than the Rays staff, to do just as good a job, and I'm giving them 3-4 times the payroll. Like I expect to win without having to be obnoxious and just spend billions of dollars haphazardly. Like you expect them to run a good. If you told me like the bottom teams like the Rays never won and the only way to win is money, then it's like it's on the ownership. But
here's where my thing comes in because Cashman's been here a while, so
a while.
They gave A-Rod the contract right after he was traded and the contract went up. They re-signed him, right?
I'm pretty sure. And my memory is not very good, but I thought Cashman didn't want to give him the money, and Steinbrenner was the one who said give him the money.
And so
Cashman wanted to get rid of A-Rod, from what I remember. Somebody Google that.
So he got the money, Cole got the money. So to me, it's like if you don't give Judge the money, I understand it's a lot of money, but if you don't give the one player that you maybe in the history of the Yankees would ever deserve a contract.
I don't know if you remember, but like at the end of Jeter's career, his last contract, and I think Jeter alluded it to why he doesn't like Cashman anymore. Is like they didn't want to give Jeter that money because he wasn't playing at the caliber of what that contract is, but everyone said you got to give Jeter that money. Eventually, they gave him the money. I think eventually
the thing is they're not in a crunch.
It's just they made a bad decision.
And you're in threat now if the Mets keep playing games where they can't play offense. I'm telling you, I'm not saying
going down as a killer.
I'm not saying Judge is going to the Mets, but damn well Steve Cohen's going to offer him money. I guarantee that. I'm not saying he'll go there.
I disagree with you there. The Mets.
If they had Judge, they'd win the World Series.
Yeah, but the Mets. Like, I know Steve Cohen could talk about all that stuff, but like there is a finite amount of money to spend where it's just insanity. Like, if he signs a contract for Judge for $400 million and he has to pay $100 million in tax? He's going to pay $500 million for someone like he didn't get all his money by being an idiot. At some point, like the Mets, when Scherzer's contract comes up, the Mets, what I feel safe if I'm a Mets fan is, hey, if DeGrom wants a lot of money, which he's going to, Cohen will pay for that. He's a Met. I don't think
if they don't keep him,
the Giants,
if they don't keep DeGrom, I'm very interested in the Yankees looking at a contract for DeGrom.
But DeGrom's another guy who is awesome. It's not on the field too much.
Yeah.
Look, and what is the most? You got to be available, otherwise you're no good.
Yeah. You know? I mean, I like Boone. I'm not putting this on Boone. The fans put it on Boone. But Cashman, like we talk about his sneaky deals, he's made a lot of them. But they were good, and now they've kind of gone away. Like we talk about Voit. Voigt's now not even, like, most people don't even know that he's on the Nationals. Urshela is decent on the Twins, but he was a 300 hitter in 2019, and he's just not that anymore. And so
Cashman, those are good deals for Cashman. Not only did he got them in their prime. Look, he's made a ton of those intermediate deals that are great. Where he has failed is to sign like DeGrom, like starting pitcher. He has not brought in. He has not bring in ace pitching. He's not like a Matt Scherzer. Cole is not that guy.
Cole's never. Well, let's just face it. Cole's never going to do 2019 again. 2019 is never going to happen again with Garrett Cole.
Yeah, we don't think it. Anyway, let's get to the best part of the show. Thing that everybody in the world.
Well, I do have one question for you, Yankees wise. Okay. Is that with the way it correlates now? There's
Rizzo Foundation shirt that I just noticed.
Yeah, I love Rizzo, but he has a lot of injury problems.
You got a back problem. It's real hard to do anything.
Yeah, and especially getting an epidural, means that you're in a lot of pain. So,
yeah,
I do hope he gets better quick because they also need a left-handed bat in that lineup. Can't have Gleyber Torres batting third because that means you've hit rock bottom.
That's funny. That's Mike Sanson quoted that recently. All I got was the text rock bottom.
I'll just say this to end on that point because I know I'm getting distracted. It's Gleyber Torres is a good player. He had a big 2-run homer today, but in one of his first at bats, he's swinging at a pit and he swings the first pitch right down the middle, and he's just like kind of moseying at it, ground ball, not running to first. Like dude, that ball's right down the middle of the plate. Like
he was showing Sanchez how they used to do it.
God, Sanchez is
Let's get to the good stuff. Week 1 of the NFL. Hallelujah. It is back. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Thursday night football game. We're going to go through all the games, and then I think, feel free to comment on any particular teams, but I'm going to need to know your picks for week 1. Who's your Super Bowl winner? Or who's your Super Bowl matchup? So let's go through it. Week 1, Thursday night, Bills travel to the Los Angeles Rams. Buffalo.
I'm a Bills guy. Big Bills guy. I hate the Rams.
Bills are favored in Los Angeles, the Super Bowl champs.
That's not a home field advantage. I'm sorry. It's LA.
Yeah, it will be loaded with Bills fans. There's no doubt about it. And I agree with you. I think the Bills win this one, and they win it by at least a touchdown.
I agree. I'm excited to see Josh Allen.
All right. The game that is, you thank the or the fans. Jeez, the people who make the schedule. Cleveland Browns go to Carolina week 1. Baker Mayfield takes on his own team. Carolina is the favorite in this game.
They should be.
I not that I don't know where this comes from, but that usually they give the home team a 3-point advantage. Carolina is a 2.5-point favorite, which means it's basically a dead game here. I'm not buying the Carolina Panthers at all. I know that's where you live.
I'm not either, but I am buying into the fact that they're going to win that game because people try. Baker Mayfield gets a lot of crap. He does, and sometimes he deserves it. I mean, ever
How
since
long
he was in college, it's putting a
he's,
flag in the middle of a team's field.
I love that. I love Baker Mayfield in college. He fought for every game. I like Baker Mayfield now.
Oh wait, no, that wasn't it. There was one time where he went like like the suck it. He did that to a team on the sideline. I was like, that's right.
Yeah, but Baker was responding to the other team. They did it to him, and he said, "Next year I'll come back. I'll put that flag in your field." And
No, I do like that. Now I do remember that. I
I
think
got
it
a
was
lot of respect for that guy.
Texas. I think it was Texas too.
But I think he's going to lose. I think the Cleveland Browns are loaded all over the field. They don't even without their quarterback. They
I don't know.
won with terrible quarterback play last year because they have awesome running backs and a great defense. I think Cleveland goes in there and beats them.
Carolina Panthers remind me a little bit of South Carolina when it comes to college because last year I thought they were a good team and they still just didn't have a quarterback. Like Sam Darnold's like
Yeah,
and I'm not saying Baker Mayfield's a
no, but
great quarterback, but he's a quarterback.
He's the step.
He's
Sam
yeah,
Darnold.
and so I see them being a little bit better this year. I'm not saying they're playoff bound though. I don't think they are. I think they're 500 probably this year. Would expect that. I do expect them to lose week 2.
I expect Carolina to be under 500 football team. All right, let's go to New England, going to Miami. Miami with their new coach who's hysterical. But the Patriots, everyone's screaming that their offense is in shambles. They have lost Josh McDaniels, and it's going to be terrible. The Dolphins, everyone's screaming they have all these offensive weapons, but is Tua good? I'm going to buy it. I think the Dolphins are going to beat the Patriots at home.
Absolutely.
Dolphins are a 3-point favorite. I think it will be close, but I'm still loving the Dolphins.
Yeah, Mac Jones has never been a good quarterback. That's why I'm a big fan of the Dolphins in this game.
I think he's pretty good.
Mac Jones lives off having weapons. That's what he had at Alabama. Doesn't have them now, and that's why their offense is not good.
His first year.
Because of the defense. And New England always has a ridiculous amount of running backs that can catch out of the backfield. But New England's going to be a 500 team. They're not making the playoffs in my book this year, and they're going to lose to the Dolphins. I agree with that.
Somehow the Patriots will make the playoffs, but I'll be miserable and I hate it. Next game makes me.
How it works.
The next game makes me sick. The Philadelphia Eagles go to Detroit. Eagles are a 4-point favorite. I want Detroit to win so bad.
4-point favorite. They're going to blow them out. That's going to be.
I mean, the Lions are supposed to be the new look that people are trending.
Oh, give me a break.
They were close in so many games last year. They were close, but I'd be shocked if they beat the Eagles. I hope we're both wrong on this one, but I think the Eagles are going to take that one.
Yeah.
This is going to be.
If I'm doing picks, it's going to be the Eagles on this one.
I know. Well, when you got to decide with your wallet.
When you want to be right.
Yeah. Yeah. When your reputation's on the line, stay away from the Lions, and next, stay away from the Jets, as they will get trampled by the Baltimore Ravens, and all the enthusiasm of the Jet fans will quickly squander. I really hope that Flacco gets the start. And actually, if he starts, he lights it up. So there's all kinds of Zach Wilson drama in New York, just because it's fun to watch the Jets fall. But the Ravens are too good of a team. 7 points is a lot, but
I'll say, I think it's gonna be a closer game than people think. I think the Ravens will win. I hate the Ravens. I hope the Jets win. I cannot stand Lamar Jackson. I think he's a formula for losing.
Who has till Friday, so he claims, to negotiate a contract, or he will be playing.
And I think you avoid it. I think that is not the formula to win a Super Bowl. We've seen it time and time again. They were 13-3, lost in the first round. Lamar Jackson is a very talented quarterback, but
MVP.
He can't throw the ball. So that's
but he can throw the ball. They have a different offense.
Yeah, the Ravens will win that game, but I would like the Jets to win that game, but the Ravens will win the game.
49ers go to Chicago. 49ers are 7-point favorite. I'm going to say this very quietly because someone's in the other room, but San Francisco is going to beat the Bears. The Bears are awful. They're going to have a terrible year.
I
So,
think Caroline understands that, though. I mean, when we were up at your house, I asked her. I said, you'd find this funny. I was like, I think the Bears are going to they might be good this year. And she's like, there's no way. And I mean, look, if it's in Chicago, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that it'll be close, but definitely probably a touchdown or two.
My thing with the 49ers is Trey Lance going to be any good?
I don't buy these quarterbacks that don't come out of the power. Don't come out of SEC, Big 10, or ACC or Big 12.
There's plenty around to know that that's not true. Josh Allen is arguably one of the best. Where'd Mahomes?
Yeah, but remember Josh Rosen? Josh Rosen was supposed to be the greatest quarterback of all time.
He was UCLA. He was Pac-12.
Yeah, and he was terrible in the NFL.
There's a story for everyone in the NFL. Phil Simms, Morehead State, terrific quarterback. Joe Flacco, University of Delaware, terrific. By the way, University of Delaware with a nice win over Navy this week. New coach.
We'll give you some celebration with that at the end.
We watched it. It was on TV on CBS Sports. Thank you. Indianapolis Colts go to the Houston Texans. Colts, strange team. They looked so good in the beginning, and then they got Carson Wentz and went to stink the rest of the way.
Colts, no conversation.
I got to see Matt Ryan doing pretty good. I don't think they're going to. Yeah, but he can still throw the ball, and I think Frank Reich's a guy who knows how to deal with a decent quarterback. Like, he got something out of Rivers. I think he'll get something out of Ryan. I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl, but I don't think the Houston Texans are the cream of the crop there. Here's probably the most boring game of the entire week. The Jacksonville Jaguars visit the Washington Commanders. Commanders 2.5-point favorite at home. I think the Jaguars are going to go in there and beat them. I think Washington.
You stole my phrase. Jacksonville's gonna win that game because we're gonna witness greatness from Trevor Lawrence. He had a terrible year last year. He had absolutely no one, no help around him, no offensive line, no coaching, no running backs, no receivers, no defense. Team was terrible. I don't like Doug Peterson, but he has won a Super Bowl, so I think he's made very stupid decisions in the past. But who's to say that Jacksonville can't be? I'm not saying
they've been drafted at the
good, but they're not good. They're going to be much better this year than they were last year, at least. And I expect them to win that game.
They'll always be competitive. I don't think they'll be a laughing stock like they were last year.
Oh, never afraid of Washington.
I don't think they're going to be I don't think Washington's good. I don't know that they got like a curse over them. Tons of talent. Everyone gets hurt. But then anyone that's good gets hurt, and then the rest of the guys are like major disappointments. It's been a bad stretch for Washington, and I think that this year will be bad for them again. New Orleans Saints travel to Atlanta. A lot of people on the Saints bandwagon. My only problem with the Saints bandwagon is Jameis Winston's driving it.
It's a good headline.
But I think the Saints will plenty go into Atlanta and win.
I don't know too much about what those teams have done this offseason.
Well,
but I feel like the Saints are just not.
Falcons quarterback. Quick trivia.
Wait, give me a second. They got rid of Matt Ryan.
Tennessee. Marcus Mariota.
He is. I want to go with the Falcons in that game. I don't like the Saints. I never have. I do respect Drew Brees, but it hasn't been the same since he left. I'm going to say Atlanta wins that game.
All right, that's an upset special for sure. Steelers at the Bengals. Oh, one word.
Bengals.
Trubisky. Bengals big. I think he starts.
And I hate the Pittsburgh Steelers, man.
I don't like the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I respect the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Mike Tomlin, the fact that he gets his team to playoffs every year when they've had like just years where they've been decimated is incredible. So Pittsburgh will be a playoff team. They will be decent. It won't be with Mitch Trubisky, I don't think.
But definitely Bengals.
Definitely Bengals, 100%. Maybe not as much of a. I imagine Joe Burrow's got to get the wheels going again. He missed all preseason, so might not be as pretty as they wanted. Kansas City Chiefs go to the Arizona Cardinals. Kansas City's favored by 6. Kansas City early in the season is like a fantasy football person's love. they're going to light it up. The Cardinals look good on paper. I'm not buying them.
Kansas City, I hate Kyler Murray. I hate the way he plays. And Kansas City is just a juggernaut. And now they have Juju Smith-Schuster. They still have Kelsey. Not really worried about them losing Hill. So I think they'll be right back to where they were last year. I think they win that game too.
The next one's interesting to me. Green Bay goes to Minnesota. I know Green Bay has.
I'm not buying the Green Bay crap this year.
I'm not either.
Aaron Rodgers
who is
sucks,
he
dude.
throwing
It's all
to? They have
Devontae
two terrific running backs. The offensive line, if they stay healthy, could be strong, and obviously a great quarterback. But if you're just going to have defenses be able to challenge you one-on-one on the outside, maybe Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a good year. And I think the Vikings are going to win this game.
Yeah. I would say the Vikings too, because that's just mostly out of my hate for the Packers. Tired of seeing them in it. Tired of seeing him winning. Tired of seeing him win unearned MVPs. Let's get him out of here now.
I'm curious to see how we do after coming back. First couple of weeks, the NFL is always brutal. Las Vegas Raiders go to the Los Angeles Chargers.
Two teams I like.
At the Chargers, I'm giving them because they're at home. They got the better quarterback, but I do think the Raiders are going to be a good team. I think this will be one of the most interesting games to watch the entire season.
That's going to go. That's definitely going to go. I'm going to have to agree with you just for one reason. Justin Herbert is my favorite quarterback in the league.
Awesome.
He's just makes the playmaking ability from him. I love watching. If I wasn't a Giants fan, the Chargers were on the East Coast, I'd cheer for the Chargers hands down before any other team. They are so fun to watch. Every game that they play is so fun, and that's why I've been lost with the Giants. Is even if they lose, Giants aren't even playing interesting. Like even when they win, it's terrible last year. So that's why
it's about winning. We finally, here we go, Tampa Bay to Dallas. I'm going Tampa Bay. I hate the Cowboys. I think their offensive line is bad. I think Ezekiel is not going to be better. I think their backup running back's better than their starting running back. I think getting rid of Cooper is a mistake. I think the Dallas Cowboys, going to be riddled with injuries and bad decisions all year long. But Tampa Bay, just come on.
Brady's just not going to be the same. It's going to be
the Cowboys. They've said that his whole career, and he always disappoints me. We'll end on the Giants, but Monday night, Denver Broncos at Seattle. Broncos are going to destroy Seattle. Seattle stinks.
No need to discuss that one.
I mean, your dad loves Geno Smith. Nobody else does. Let's circle back. So the final game, 4:00 game on Sunday, most important game on the schedule.
What about the Sunday night game? There no Sunday night game?
I'm sure that's probably Tampa Bay against the Bucs. I'm just going in the order.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Giants, Tennessee Titans. Tennessee is it's 5.5 point favorite. I think the Giants are winning. Tennessee's a better team. There's not even close to it. But you get that 1 week of, hey, the team, a lot of starters don't practice when you're an established team. If you're going to catch someone off guard, now's the time to do it.
I want to believe so bad. You know what? I'll side with you because then we'll both bite the bullet if we lose that bet. I would love to see nothing more than the Giants, just pull off a shocker and then go home to play Carolina. I was nothing more than I'd like to see than that. I'll go with the Giants. I just don't think it's going to look pretty. I don't think it's going to look pretty.
They're either going to win or lose by double or 21 points.
Please, I beg Daniel Jones and Barkley, do something better than you were last year, please.
Well, let's hope for the optimism. With that, Matty, we'll wrap it up on this quick one.
Who did Delaware play this weekend?
Last weekend?
Yeah.
Maybe in Annapolis, Maryland.
And how much did they win by?
A touchdown. 14-7.
14-7? Wow.
Yeah. Defensive.
Very low scoring. What did you think about the Clemson game? I don't know if you watched it.
I
I'm sure you
did
watched
watch it.
part of it.
I watched when it was like maybe 21-10, and I was like, okay, now the wheels have fallen off, and this game's over. But the Clemson quarterback Ungalele, he's not doesn't really impress me that much. Now they
He's
keep telling
very, he's very. The
you know,
game's too fast for him.
it's like game listen, because he got an unbelievable arm.
They
Not Chicken
oversimplify
Schmitz, I forgot who it
they
was.
oversimplify the game for him so much. They throw way too many screens in the perimeter. When they don't throw the ball down the field, they have a great running back. Will Shipley is could be a
He
potential
looks like a
Christian
wide
McCaffrey.
receiver out there, Shipley.
And he's a great wide receiver too. He's going to be amazing this year. They'll have an easy game this weekend. South Carolina beat Georgia State, and then they'll play Arkansas this weekend. Very tough game. Boston
Arkansas
College
is pretty good.
plays Virginia Tech. They'll lose that. West Virginia plays Kansas. They should win that.
For those
Who
who
does?
don't know who we're talking about, these are all teams in our family.
I'm a big lover of South Carolina this year. They got a lot of good players. They finally have a quarterback in Rattler. I don't care about the dramatics.
How did he look week one?
They were running like I just said with Clemson. A lot of not throwing the
Yeah,
ball down the field. I hate that. Why
it's
not?
week one. It's week one. But before we go into a college deep dive, we'll save that for another week. Maddie, I say good night.
Let's see. Well, last thing. Do you think Judge hits more homers tonight? He walked his first at bat, not intentionally though.
I'm gonna say no just because of the law of averages. Say no.
To be honest, I'm telling you, a good way to end this off. I can't think in the years I've watched sports of maybe I could say Shesterkin, but he has to do it again this year. Aaron Judge is. I've never seen anyone.
What about Kreider scoring 50 goals? That was pretty good.
That's 1 year though. I mean, Judge. I've
you're
never
talking
seen
about
someone so consistently good for any one of my teams like that.
Jeter?
He's a. Well, I didn't really watch Jeter, so I feel like
That's right. It's a little bit.
Jeter couldn't. Jeter was
Mark
never
Messier,
like
Jeter.
every game, and home runs are hard every game to hit home runs.
Oh yeah. El Duque in the playoffs. Andy Pettit in the playoffs.
So we hope they continue that. We'll get back to doing picks, and that'll be fun this year. It should be interesting for football.
We'll have to keep record. We'll see how we do.
Yeah, I think I'll probably lose because sometimes I go to the dream, like what I want to happen over realistic.
We're not experts, so it doesn't matter.
Not yet.
Not yet. All right. Good night.
See you guys.
Bye.
Love you too.